Pause for a moment, because what you're about to hear will do one of two things. It will either change how you move through the world from this point forward, or you'll brush it off and still be standing in the same place 10 years from now. Not long ago, I watched a man spend over 20 minutes justifying himself to someone who clearly had no respect for him, explaining, clarifying, trying to be understood by a person who had already decided he didn't matter. That man isn't rare. He's everywhere. And if you're honest, parts of this story probably feel uncomfortably familiar. Maybe you're tired of being overlooked, tired of being underestimated, tired of feeling like your presence doesn't carry weight. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. You weren't born without confidence. You were trained out of it, conditioned to be agreeable, rewarded for being predictable, praised for being easy to manage, and manageable men don't rise. They get used. 5 centuries ago, one man ignored the comforting lies society prefers to teach and wrote instead about the real mechanics of power, influence, and human nature. His name was Machiavelli, and what he uncovered wasn't polite, but it was effective. He mapped the difference between men who are ignored and men who are respected, between those who are controlled and those who cannot be moved. This video isn't about becoming loud or arrogant. It's about becoming unignorable. The kind of man who enters a room and shifts the energy without saying a word, who speaks once and it lands, who draws a line and it stays drawn. If that's the direction you want to move in, stay with me and make sure you're subscribed. This channel isn't about motivation, it's about mastery. In the next few minutes, I'll break down 8 principles that change how you're perceived and how you operate. You'll move from overlooked to undeniable, from chasing respect to commanding it, from hoping things work out to making sure they do. But understand this before we continue. Once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. Once you understand how influence actually works, innocence is gone. And once you step into this level of control, there's no going back to being passive. Drop this in the comments right now. I refuse to be held back. I refuse to be stopped. Now, let's begin. Principle 1. Transform the inner self. Right now, 2 versions of you are fighting for control. One is hesitant, apologetic, constantly seeking approval. The other is grounded, decisive, naturally respected. Every decision you make feeds one and starves the other. Today, we reverse the balance. The uncertain version of you is not your fault. It's what you were shaped into. It's the voice that tells you to stay polite when someone disrespects you. The reflex that makes you apologize even when you're not wrong. The instinct to explain yourself to people who should be explaining themselves to you. That programming started early. Parents wanted you compliant. Teachers wanted you obedient. Society wanted you predictable. But predictable men don't build anything lasting. They get bypassed. This uncertain self has been running your life quietly for years. It's why you tolerate behavior you shouldn't. Why you give endless chances to people who've shown you who they are. Why you put everyone else's comfort above your own standards. And here's the part it doesn't want you to realize. Every time you're nice to someone who disrespects you, you betray yourself. Every boundary you allow to be crossed trains people to cross it again. Machiavelli said it clearly. He who cannot command himself will always be commanded by others. The 2 versions of you speak very different languages. The uncertain self says, I don't want to hurt their feelings. The confident self says, I won't lower my standards. The uncertain self says, maybe I misunderstood. The confident self says, I understood, and I don't accept it. The uncertain self says, they deserve another chance. The confident self says, they already had one. This transformation isn't aggressive. It's deliberate. When someone tests your boundary, The uncertain self wants to explain it. The confident self enforces it, without discussion. When someone disrespects you, the uncertain self searches for reasons. The confident self responds with consequences. When someone wastes your time, the uncertain self makes excuses. The confident self withdraws access. Start noticing which voice you're listening to. When you're about to apologize unnecessarily, that's the old programming. When you feel the urge to explain yourself to someone who owes you respect, that's approval seeking. You don't destroy this part of yourself with anger. You outgrow it through choice. Choose strength over validation. Choose respect over popularity. Choose influence over being liked. That uncertain voice will fight back. It will warn you about who might not approve, remind you of past failures, try to convince you that authority makes you cold. Let it complain. On the other side of that resistance is a man who doesn't shrink himself to be accepted, who doesn't justify his existence, who doesn't beg for respect because it follows him naturally. Feed that version. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My uncertain self is fading. My confident self is rising. Principle 2. Build the fortress mind. Your mind is either your strongest weapon or the thing sabotaging you daily. For most men, it's chaos. Every criticism feels personal. Every setback feels like a verdict. Every challenge triggers emotion before thought. That instability is the real weakness. A fortress mind doesn't react, it evaluates. When criticized, it doesn't feel attacked, it gathers information. When disappointed, it doesn't feel shocked. It notes confirmation. Most men are dragged around by emotion, anger, fear, insecurity. They act impulsively, then regret it. The fortress mind does the opposite. Emotions become signals, not commands. Anger signals a boundary breach. Pain reveals someone's true nature. Fear points to growth. Stop personalizing behavior that isn't about you. When someone treats you poorly, they expose themselves. When someone manipulates, they reveal desperation, not your weakness. Machiavelli wrote that the wise act in the present with the future in mind. A fortress mind expects resistance, not from pessimism, but from preparation. When you expect obstacles, disappointment loses power. When you expect human flaws, betrayal stops surprising you. Begin reading patterns, not incidents. Someone who lies once is capable of lying again. Someone who gossips to you gossips about you. Someone who disrespects you privately will do it publicly if allowed. Every interaction is data. Ask better questions internally. What is this teaching me? What pattern is repeating? What does this reveal about their priorities? You don't become emotionless. You become emotion resistant. You still feel, but feelings don't drive the wheel anymore. Logic directs. Strategy decides. Control becomes normal. Most minds fracture under pressure. Yours is being reinforced. Build it carefully. Strengthen it daily, because once the fortress is complete, nothing external can shake who you are. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My mind is a fortress. My thoughts are tools. Principle 3. Master silence as power. The loudest man in the room is rarely the strongest. He talks because he's uneasy. He over-explains because he doubts himself. He argues because he needs reassurance that he still matters. You're going to operate differently. You're going to understand that silence is not emptiness. It's dominance under control. The moment you stop explaining yourself, something changes. People hesitate before questioning you. They stop probing your boundaries. They start assuming you see more than they do. And often, you do. Because you understand a truth most never learn. Your value does not depend on being understood. You don't owe clarity to challengers. You don't owe justification for your standards. You don't owe explanations for protecting your space. The instant you start explaining yourself to someone who questions your decisions, you subtly place them above you. Authority never argues for its position. Think carefully about the most powerful people you've encountered. Do they constantly clarify themselves? Do they debate every challenge? Do they rush to defend their choices? No, they decide and move forward. They set boundaries and enforce them. They speak selectively and are heard completely. Machiavelli understood this dynamic instinctively. Respect is not begged for. It is assumed, then confirmed through restraint. Silence makes you unreadable, and unreadable men are respected because they cannot be easily measured. When people can't figure you out, they project depth. They assume strategy. They hesitate before testing you. You gain influence you never asked for. But here's the discipline most men miss. Silence only works when your words, when spoken, carry weight. Because you don't speak often, people listen closely. Because you don't waste language, each sentence lands. Because you don't explain, your words feel final. Start practicing strategic silence immediately. When accused unfairly, don't defend. Observe. When pressured for answers you don't want to give, say no and stop there. When someone tries to pull you into drama, remove yourself entirely. Watch what happens. People who relied on your reactions grow unsettled. They escalate. They provoke. And when they get nothing back, they either retreat or expose themselves. Either outcome benefits you. Silence also protects you from self-sabotage. Most men ruin their position with words they can't take back. Arguments that never needed to happen. Confessions made under pressure. Reactions spoken too soon. The silent man avoids these traps. He speaks when speech advances him. He stays quiet when silence protects him. He never hands ammunition to his opposition. Let others exhaust themselves with noise. You conserve energy for action. Silent men aren't intimidating because they're aggressive. They're intimidating because they're unpredictable. No one knows what they're thinking. No one knows their next move. No one knows their limits. Let them wonder. Let them speculate. Let them respect what they can't decode. Your silence is not weakness. It's your leverage. Drop this in the comments. My silence outweighs their noise. Principle 4. Turn disappointment into advantage. Here's a truth that eliminates years of frustration once you accept it. People will let you down. Friends will choose convenience over loyalty. Partners will choose profit over principle. Those you trust will hesitate when the cost becomes real. This isn't negativity. It's realism. And realism is power. Most men break under disappointment because they expected fairness. They believed character matched words. They confused kindness with integrity. So when betrayal happens, they spiral. They obsess. They replay conversations. They search for explanations that don't exist. You will not do this. You'll expect friction and use it. Disappointment is not cruelty. It is information. It reveals who people become under pressure. It exposes priorities hidden behind politeness. It shows you the truth that comfort concealed. Every disappointment gives you clarity. Before it, you were uncertain. After it, you know exactly who you're dealing with. Machiavelli observed that human loyalty is conditional. The man who understands this is never shocked. He plans assuming self-interest. He prepares for shifting alliances. He never anchors his future to someone else's integrity. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Disappointment is proof of elevation. People don't betray those beneath them. They betray those rising above them, those who possess value, those who trigger envy. Every disappointment confirms growth. Wear it accordingly. When it arrives, and it will. Respond like a strategist, not a wounded idealist. Don't waste energy on emotional reactions. Convert that energy into analysis. Ask, what did this reveal? What pattern is now clear? What vulnerability did I expose? Sometimes the correct response is total removal. No explanations, no negotiations, no closure conversations. Just distance, clean, final. Other times, the response is calculated patience. You remember, you note behavior, you wait, and when timing favors you, you act with precision. Disappointment is education no mentor can provide. It teaches discernment. It forces independence. It sharpens judgment. A man tested and refined by disappointment is more capable than one protected by comfort. Most men allow disappointment to harden them into bitterness. You will let it sharpen you into clarity, because when you've been let down repeatedly and still move forward, when trust has failed and discipline remains, when support vanished and momentum didn't, that's when you cross the line into something dangerous. Not emotional, not hopeful, unstoppable. Principle 5. Silence critics through results. Here's what uncertain men do when criticized. They argue, they defend, they explain themselves to people who never intended to understand them. They waste time trying to change minds that were never open. You won't do that. You will outgrow criticism until it becomes irrelevant. Your critics are not your obstacle. Your reaction to them is. The moment you argue with a critic, you elevate them. You imply their opinion deserves debate. You treat unqualified voices as equals. That's a mistake. Stop honoring bad faith judgment with good faith explanations. Stop treating every opinion as valuable. Stop allowing people who have built nothing to evaluate someone who is building everything. Criticism is not silenced by words. It's silenced by dominance. When your results become undeniable, complaints lose oxygen. When your progress is visible, doubt sounds ridiculous. When your success is consistent, gossip dies quietly. Machiavelli understood this well. Complaining never conquers fate, but excellence overwhelms opposition. Build so well that disbelief becomes envy. Win so decisively that arguments feel pointless. Every minute spent debating critics is a minute stolen from growth. Every explanation given is energy wasted. Let your work speak. Let your outcomes answer. Let your momentum drown the noise. Something interesting happens when you succeed long enough. Criticism mutates. It becomes resentment, then envy, then imitation. And envy is just admiration twisted by insecurity. The man who excels does not argue with those who haven't. The builder does not debate spectators. The respected do not justify themselves to the irrelevant. Your critics will always exist. That's not the problem. The problem is when you give them attention instead of giving your mission everything. Use criticism as fuel, not as validation. When they say you can't, you respond with execution. When they question your methods, your results answer. When they doubt your potential, your achievements close the conversation. The goal is not approval. The goal is inevitability. Build something so impressive that doubt looks foolish. Achieve something so obvious that criticism looks desperate. Stop talking. Start producing. Drop this in the comments. I silence critics with success, not arguments. Principle 6. Control your reputation. Every person you meet forms an opinion of you almost instantly. That judgment decides how they treat you, how much respect they give, how much power they believe you have. Most men leave this to chance. You won't. Your reputation is not just your appearance. It's your presence, your composure, your consistency. It's what people feel around you and what they say when you're gone. Influential men speak less, not more. They don't fill silence with nervous chatter. They don't justify every move. They don't explain their thinking to everyone. Less speech creates more gravity. Less exposure creates more respect. Mystery creates leverage. Stop telling your entire story too quickly. Stop revealing plans to people who haven't earned access. Stop explaining strategies to those who won't benefit from knowing. Let people wonder. Your reputation should arrive before you do. People should sense your standards without testing them. They should feel your boundaries without crossing them. They should respect your capability before you demonstrate it. Machiavelli observed something uncomfortable but true. People judge with their eyes more than their hands. Use that reality. Your body language speaks before your mouth does. Stand like you belong. Move with purpose. Sit with calm authority. When pressure rises, stay centered. When chaos erupts, remain steady. When others react emotionally, you respond deliberately. Consistency is what builds legends. Be the same under stress as under praise. Be the same when unseen as when admired. Be the same when winning and when rebuilding. That's how trust forms. When you cut someone off, make it final. When you draw a line, don't retreat. When you act decisively. But competence must support image. Be excellent at your craft. Be reliable when it matters. Be effective when problems arise. Influence without skill is noise. Skill without presence is wasted. You control the narrative, not your past, not opinions, not rumors. You decide what you represent. Your reputation becomes your shield. Your presence becomes your warning. Your character becomes your advantage. Build it intentionally. Guard it relentlessly. Deploy it strategically. Drop this in the comments. I control my reputation. My presence commands respect. Principle 7. Make excellence non-negotiable. Excellence is not an act. It's a standard. It's not something you switch on for important moments. It's something you live, especially when no one is watching. Most men think excellence is about dramatic moments, confrontations, big wins, public victories. They're wrong. Excellence is built in silence. How you wake up when you don't feel like moving. How you handle irritation no one sees. How you treat people who offer nothing in return. How you act when no reward is promised. These moments shape your character. Your character determines your ceiling. Comfort destroys potential. Comfort makes you predictable. Predictability makes you manageable. Manageable men get ignored. Choosing comfort is choosing stagnation. Choosing discipline is choosing elevation. Machiavelli understood this clearly. Fortune favors the prepared, not the hopeful. Discipline is invisible power. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, self-trust grows. Every time you do the hard thing voluntarily, confidence hardens. Standards create immunity. When you know what you will not tolerate, manipulation fails. When you know what you stand for, pressure loses influence. When your principles are fixed, negotiation ends. Build ruthless disciplines. Wake early, even when it's uncomfortable. Train, even when motivation is absent. Handle the hardest task first, even when avoidance is tempting. Keep your word, even when it costs you. These are not habits. They are forging rituals. Each act of discipline strengthens your command over yourself. Others will call you extreme, too intense, too rigid. Let them. They'll ask for guidance later, when their comfort collapses. They choose easy. You choose effective. They chase pleasure. You build power. They relax. You rise. Make excellence your law. Discipline your identity. Strength your default. Because when life applies pressure, and it will, the disciplined man advances and the comfortable man folds. Principle 8. Become unstoppable. This is where everything converges. This is where theory dies and embodiment begins. This is where you step beyond ordinary limits and enter a state most men never reach. To be unstoppable is not to be aggressive. It is to be untouchable. Nothing external disturbs your internal order. Criticism doesn't shake you. Disappointment doesn't surprise you. Challenges don't fracture you, because you are no longer emotionally dependent on outcomes, reactions, or approval. This is not coldness. It is mastery. You still care, but you are not controlled by care. You still connect, but you do not cling. You still love, but you do not need love to be whole. Let them call you confident. Let them call you distant. Let them call you self-assured. Accept every label without explanation. When average minds can't comprehend your strength, they will try to reduce it. They will pressure you to return to familiarity. Do not go back. You no longer live at that level. Your power comes from self-command, not consensus. Your strength comes from discipline, not validation. Your wins come from execution, not recognition. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. The greatest conquest is mastery over oneself. The unstoppable man is radically self-reliant. He does not ask permission to exist fully. He does not require cooperation to build his life. He does not need approval to pursue his objectives. This does not make him isolated. It makes him selective. Access is earned. Attention is controlled. Influence is filtered. He decides who gets proximity. He decides who shapes his thinking. He decides what deserves his energy. The unstoppable man operates from abundance. He is not desperate for outcomes. He is not dependent on support. He is not compromised by judgment. And because of this, people will test him. They will search for cracks. They will look for emotional buttons. They will attempt manipulation. Let them try. They will fail. Because every weakness has already been addressed. The uncertain self is gone. The fortress mind is active. Silence is weaponized. Setbacks have been converted into fuel. Weakness is concealed. Reputation is engineered. Excellence is automatic. What remains is someone beyond reach. Critics will exhaust themselves. Doubters will burn energy. Opposition will collapse under its own effort, and you will continue rising quietly, steadily, inevitably. Because you can no longer be held back. You can no longer be broken. You can no longer be stopped. You did not start this video as the man finishing it. Something changed. You now understand the architecture of influence. You know how to eliminate uncertainty. You know how to fortify the mind. You know how to control perception. You know how to convert pain into leverage. You know how to discipline excellence. You know how to operate beyond limitation. This is not information. This is initiation. Expect resistance immediately. People will push your boundaries. Old habits will attempt to resurface. Comfort will whisper, "Do not retreat." You are no longer the man who gets talked over. You are the man whose presence recalibrates the room. You no longer ask for respect. You expect it and receive it. You no longer react to circumstances. You shape them. Your uncertain self is obsolete. Your mind is fortified. Your silence is intentional. Your standards are fixed. Your discipline is locked. Your position is secured. You cannot be held back. Your influence exceeds words. You cannot be broken. Your strength is internal. You cannot be stopped. The decision was already made. Stop asking permission. Stop waiting for opportunity. Stop hoping for what you can claim. This is your moment. This is your authority. This is your time. Move accordingly.